This is WPSL Port St. Lucie, the talk of the Treasure Coast.
Well, a very pleasant good evening. Time for Startup Talk right here on WPSL and WSTU. Now named
Small Biz Florida
with Tom Kindred.
Thank you, sir. And welcome to another segment and installment of Small Biz Florida, the show designed to assist and help Treasure and Research Coast residents who want to start, grow, or accelerate their business. As I always say, what a great place it is to own and operate a business along the beautiful Research and Treasure Coast. We will spend time during our hour together this evening to highlight and create awareness regarding the very powerful business assistance and support programs that exist right here in our community at our very own Indian River State College. I am Tom Kindred. I serve the college and I serve the community as the regional director for the Florida Small Business Development Center here at IRSC. Underwriters for this segment of Small Biz Florida are the Florida SBDC at Indian River State College, engaged at every stage of enterprise, and our friends at Express Printing of Port St. Lucie. So, Greg, how are you this evening?
Doing well.
And yes, indeed, we have. I'd like to say we haven't changed our name. We've updated our name.
That's right.
That's right. We're on all these now Alexa home broadcasting contraptions and
the new transistor radio called a smartphone.
Right, we're on the new transistor radio, so you know what? We're kind of going statewide now.
There you go.
So
podcast too.
That's right. So we've gotten beyond kind of the startup phase of this program now. As Greg likes to remind everybody, we're in our fourth year here.
Fifth year.
Fifth?
Come on, Tom.
Fifth.
This is year 5.
Wait a minute. What happened to the fourth?
It went by in a hurry. Let me tell you.
The fourth year. I don't even remember that fourth year. So we're kind of growing with the Treasure Coast, and so we've got our Treasure Coast Business Magazine that's launched. Our first edition came out in June. Got another edition coming out in the next couple of weeks.
Cool.
We're sending in our final copy and the material for the new the latest second edition of Treasure Coast Business. We've got our podcast launched, so it was just kind of time to update things. So we are now Small Biz Florida here.
Cool. Sounds good.
But new name, but same loyal partners. Greg and Carol Wyatt here at WPSL, WSTU. So we
hit the word old.
Yeah. Thought I said loyal.
Oh, loyal. Oh, that's what it was.
Listen, I'm old. There's no doubt. I'm starting to replace joints now in my body. So when you do that, you know you're getting old. So
yep.
Yeah. So anyway, so again, glad to be here this evening and getting caught up with lots of business news. I'm glad that we are still all part of the WPSL and WSTU family. So very quickly, we've got some great guests with us tonight. We've got one of our very, very good friends and strong partners, with the city of Port St. Lucie. We appreciate that partnership. We've got with us this evening Mr. Elijah Wooten, Business Navigator for the city of Port St. Lucie. Welcome to the show again, Elijah.
Thanks, Tom.
We also have with us some standout small business owners and operators. I can't wait to have a conversation with this couple. Great experience in business. I can't wait to see what we can learn from our good friends David and Kathy Dow of Dow Decorating. Welcome to the show, guys.
Thank you, Tom.
Yep. So real quickly, it's been a while since I've updated everybody, but I'm telling you, I ran into my buddy Bob O'Brien before I left the office tonight, and I'm telling you, there is so much going on. I'll just quickly go through the highlights, and you can always check out more at the irscbiz.com site. But we've got beginning photography on both the main campus and the Chastain campus starting on September the 16th, running through December. So incredible program. Had a young lady tell me the other night she's been through all the photography classes, the beginning, intermediate, and advanced. She loved every one of them. We've got starting on main campus and down at the Chastain. Again, we've got the intermediate photography class. So got beginner and intermediate both on main campus and Chastain starting September the 16th and 19th. We've got Excel, basics to intermediate, a great class, a great tool to use for small business owners. That's going to start September the 17th, and that's on Tuesday and Thursday evenings, and that runs through the 26th. That's on main campus, a great class. Business writing to convince. Grants, proposals, bids, and emails taught by one of our standout instructors, Terry Penny. That's going to be on main campus September the 18th, Wednesday. That is a one-day class. We've got Internet Advertising Essentials. That is a series of classes run by, again, one of our standout CCTI instructors, Leanna Haig. She's been teaching social media for a long time for us. Great classes. That's on the St. Lucie West campus. In the hub. That'll be on September the 19th. Great class. We've got certified personal trainer certification class that'll begin on Saturday, September the 21st on main campus. Been a very popular certification class for the CCTI for a number of years. Then we've got Marketing in a Digital World, a series of classes, e-commerce overview, email marketing campaigns, social media advertising, using marketing and Google Analytics. We're partnering with this series of classes with our good friends at SCORE. So SCORE and SBDC and CCTI putting together that series of classes. That'll start on main campus September the 24th. And then we've got 2 rounds of our Business Accelerator program starting. We've got the Martin County and City of Stewart sessions starting on September the 30th, right there on the Chastain campus, Monday evenings. That'll be 12 nights of training down on Chastain campus. And we've got the second round of the Port St. Lucie Business Accelerator program that's going to launch on October the 2nd, and that takes place at our St. Lucie West campus down on St. Lucie West in what we call the Enterprise Hub. So, I mean, just an awful lot of classes going on. And one of the reasons I've got Mr. Wooten with us tonight is I want to talk just a little bit about the Port St. Lucie BAP program, our partnership, and all the good things that they're doing to support small business. So, again, welcome to the show, Elijah.
Yep. Thank you, Tom.
So to start us off, as always, a little background on yourself, pathway to your current position as Business Navigator.
Sure. So I'm a native Floridian, born and raised in Pompano Beach. But career-wise, I've been in small business development and economic development, working initially with the small business, the counterpart to the Small Business Development Center, which is the Minority Business Development Center, as a marketing consultant. That was out of Miami. And then worked with the Broward Alliance, which is equivalent to the St. Lucie Economic Development Council, doing business recruitment and retention. And then having a long stint with the city of Lauderhill as the economic development manager before joining the city of Port St. Lucie as the business navigator.
Nice. So you've seen some things.
Yep.
Coming from South Florida.
Now, did you keep your Rolodexes from Broward and Miami and bring them up here? Oh,
on my phone, but not physical one. Right. Modern Rolodex, exactly.
Talk about the position of Business Navigator.
Sure.
Role with the city.
So it's 3 parts mainly. I work out of the city manager's office. So the primary role is to assist developers, contractors, civil engineers, architects that are going through our land development process, mainly for commercial projects, to explain what it entails, and then also work with the departments, planning and zoning, public works, utilities, the building department, also the fire district and Florida Power and Light, to try to coordinate construction to get them up and operating. That's the primary role, but then also the secondary is being the point of contact for the EDC, or Economic Development Council. So if there are companies that are looking to relocate or expand in Port St. Lucie and are looking for any type of support or incentive from the city council, then packaging that and presenting it to them. And then third is small business development and being the local liaison for the business community, which the Business Accelerator program fits into that.
Do you have any time off?
Little, but I enjoy what I do.
Hey, the city of Port St. Lucie, of course, I've always been very impressed. One of the first things that events that I attended when I took on this role with the SBDC was the city of Port St. Lucie had a seminar about kind of helping to educate people who wanted to start a small business. I was so impressed and I think it was the code enforcement department that was putting on this seminar. I just was so impressed. And the city of Port St. Lucie's always been very innovative and progressive about working with small business owners and operators. To have your code enforcement department putting on those kinds of high-level seminars was impressive. Now, you, of course, have brought a whole new level of involvement with small business to the city of Port St. Lucie, and you basically, kind of in partnership with the CCTI and the SBDC, you created your own version of a business accelerator program and launched that recently at the city of Port St. Lucie. Talk about your BAP program.
Sure. Well, as you mentioned, we're going into our second course, the Business Accelerator Program. We're glad that David and Kathy are joining us this evening, which they were the first graduates from the Business Accelerator Program. But the city's role is a couple of parts. One, of course, offering it to the public through the Small Business Development Center. We actually pay for the course, so the businesses only have to pay the registration fee, which is only $25, which is very affordable for a 12-week course.
Yes,
and it's 3 hours each course, so you get a lot of great information for young companies as well as existing businesses. And then we also are providing funding for a small business grant that's at the tail end of the program. So the City Council did approve $25,000 through our Community Development Block Grant Fund. And then we were also fortunate to have Center State Bank provide a matching grant of $25,000. So.
So talk about the first round. I mean, it was a sellout class, that's for sure. There wasn't much room, weren't many seats left, and you had some incredible grants. And what I loved was, again, going back to that progressive nature and innovative nature of your political leadership, and a lot of credit to Mayor Orvac. But, I mean, you basically invited all the graduates of the first round to come to a city commission meeting, and I loved it. The mayor said everybody gets their 5-minute fame on the Port St. Lucie TV, and everybody got to introduce themselves.
Yes.
Talk a little bit about that first round.
Sure. So we had over 30 students actually that signed up for the course, which is one of the larger business accelerator programs I think that the SBDC sponsored. And from that, there was about $34,000 I think total in grants that were awarded through the Business Accelerator, and so we're hoping to have another successful program in October. But I wanted to highlight the graduates. We did invite them to attend a city council meeting, and the mayor was gracious to give time to each business to give their commercial, to introduce what they do, let the public know the resources that are here in town, and hopefully they'll patronize them.
Yeah, I mean, the Port St. Lucie City Commission really they do have a genuine focus on small business and understand the value of it in this community.
Yes. Well, and you look at the businesses that have grown, like City Electric or Tamco.
Tamco, yeah.
They're local businesses. They've about 90% of their 200 employees are from St. Lucie County, and you want to continue to nurture, your local firms, because you never know where they will grow, but you want to make it easy for them to do business in the city through our different departments, and get support from
the community. I guess you really can't talk about Port St. Lucie really without mentioning the arrival of Cleveland Clinic. I mean,
correct.
I think this, I remember at our last small business conference, Dr. Jerry Parrish, he talked about the old model in Florida was you built a golf course and you built homes around it. And he said the new model in Florida is you build a hospital and build homes around it. So, I mean, you guys really have embraced this new model of Florida. I mean, you've got some incredible healthcare, players coming into the marketplace.
Yeah. And when they were under Martin Health and Tradition Medical, I mean, when they opened the hospital, they were already at capacity. And so they had to double size, go from 3 stories to 6 stories. And that's prior to being acquired through Cleveland Clinic. So in addition to great medical services, they also are going to bring their Learner Institute to the former VGTI building and create more jobs.
I was going to ask you, we sort of think that's a done deal now, right? I mean, is it kind of signed? And
well, I mean, it still has to go back before the city council, the final lease agreement, but it looks pretty positive. And the spinoff effect is what we're excited about, other research firms that will be joining them.
Beautiful.
Add jobs in the community.
So, talking about the second round of the Port St. Lucie Business Accelerator Program, how does kind of give us the rules and regs? Anybody can participate and come down. If you have grants, though, do you have to be located in the city of Port St. Lucie or something? What are kind of our ground rules for the event?
Right. So in terms of the course itself, yeah, it is open to the public, those who pay the registration fee. However, for the grant portion, you would have to have a business license in the city of Port St. Lucie. Being that the funding comes from HUD, and through the Community Development Block Grant Program, there are some focuses on census tracts that are low to moderate income, or hiring low to moderate income employees, or the business owners being qualified as low to moderate income. The ability of Center State Bank also participating gave us a little more latitude as well. We still fit under the low to moderate income overall as a county, so we didn't really have to focus narrowly on census tracts in awarding grants.
If you're a business owner, you are low income. No. Oh, I'm sorry.
I was thinking aloud again.
Yeah, well, that's a good question for David later on. Yeah, trust me, I many times I thought we were actually a nonprofit when I owned the business. Got very confused.
Very charitable of you.
So, how does one find out more about the PSL BAT program, get registered, all that good stuff?
Yeah, so just go to irscbiz.com and look on the right-hand column. I believe you'll see the logo for PSL, Port St. Lucie, and click on that, and you can register right from there.
That is exactly right. Very good.
Yeah, I did
it. Yes. I showed it to my class the other night and encouraged all my students to come down and participate.
Great.
The number of them have some small businesses, so I said, great opportunity. Elijah, listen, I cannot thank you enough. The City of Port St. Lucie has just been a huge supporter and a very important collaborator and partner with the Florida SBDC. You recognize the power of the collaboration and what we can do together in supporting the business community. I just can't say enough about a city that has that understanding of the tool. That is SBDC. So we appreciate your support.
Oh, yeah. And the great thing about the Business Accelerator program, again, because the SBDC is oftentimes presenters, you actually then have a chance to work one-on-one with the counselors after the course to focus on your marketing, your social media, your finance, budgeting. So it's great.
Elijah, listen, thank you for taking time out this evening. I know it's after a long day's work, it's just nice to go home. So we appreciate you taking time out and joining us this evening. It's an important program, a valuable program for the community, and I don't doubt that we'll be busting out the seams again for the second round of the Port St. Lucie Business Accelerator program. Again, that program is going to launch on October the 2nd. It's 12 evenings of business training, all kinds of topics, time management, dealing with difficult people, sales and marketing, exceptional customer service. There's a couple of finance nights, the business plan, legal issues in the workplace, successful marketing with social media, recruitment and retention of talent, management and supervision, and professional presentations and promotions. So, my gosh, incredible program. And all of that for $25.
Can't beat it.
No, I don't think so. I think that may be the best deal in town.
There you go.
Elijah, thank you so much. Tell everyone at the City of Port St. Lucie, as always, thank you for their support, and look forward to launching BAP on October the 2nd.
Same here.
With that, we will take a quick break, but stay tuned. There is more Small Biz Florida coming at you. We got some great guests tonight. David and Kathy Dow of Dow Decorating. Looking forward to this conversation. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
With any business, the most valuable asset are the people and the teams, no matter how small or large the organization. Hi, I'm Catherine Culhane, Associate Director for the Florida SBDC at Indian River State College. Let us help your organization turbocharge your team. As a certified driving forces analyst, I will help management work more effectively with your people, increase and improve communication, reduce conflict and stress, better understand strengths and weaknesses so that your people are properly aligned in their jobs. Hire the right people. Let the Florida SBDC at IRSC transform your company using a customized assessment system, knowledge, and resources. Grow and accelerate your organization by turbocharging your team. To get started, contact the Florida SBDC at IRSC.
For confidential one-on-one business consulting at no cost, contact the Florida SBDC at IRSC at 336-6285. Online at irscbiz.com. Indian River State College is distinguished as the nation's top college and the recipient of the 2019 Aspen Prize for Community College Excellence. The Aspen Institute selected IRSC from more than 1,000 colleges after a rigorous review of data, strategies, and outcomes related to student learning, completion, high rates of employment, earnings for graduates, and exceptional access, plus success for minority and low-income students. Learn how IRSC makes student success its #1 priority at irsc.edu.
The 2019 college volleyball season is here. Hi, I'm Stephanie Skidmore, the IRSC head coach and assistant athletic director. Our ladies excel both on the court and in the classroom. After the first 8 matches on the road, the Lady Pioneers home opener is against St. Petersburg September 20th. Our season home finale is October 22nd against Eastern Florida. The tradition of champions continues at IRSC.
You're listening to WSTU Stewart.
This is WPSL Port St. Lucie.
And we are back. And this is Small Biz Florida from the Dan K. Richardson Entrepreneurship Development Institute and the Florida SBDC here at Indian River State College. I am so pleased and excited to have with us tonight some standout small business owners and operators. We've got with us Kathy and David Dow of Dow Decorating. Welcome to the show, Kathy and David.
Thank you, Tom.
very much.
Thanks for having us.
Listen, I really enjoyed getting to know you folks as you went through. You participated in the first round of the Port St. Lucie BAP, the Business Accelerator Program. Really enjoyed getting to know you guys. A lot of great experience, and I couldn't wait to get you on the show because I want to talk about your story and learn a little more. But anyway, we're happy to have you here tonight, and glad we got to get to know you in the BAP program. But start with a little bit, I guess, Kathy or David, a little bit of your background, interesting background. Talk to us. How'd you find your way to St. Lucie West?
There you go. Well, we had our company in Connecticut for 22 years, many years. It's kind of in my blood. My dad was an upholsterer, so I literally started when I was 10 years old, sweeping the floor and stripping the old fabric off the chairs, going on deliveries and all that. I think I sewed my first cushion when I was 16 years old.
What part of Connecticut?
Right near Hartford. I was actually born and raised in Rockville, Connecticut. That's where Gene Pitney, the Rockville Rocket, was home. That was his hometown.
That goes back a
Town
couple
Without
semesters.
Pity.
Yeah.
There you go. So that's my claim to fame there in Rockville. And Kathy's from Hartford and West Hartford, Connecticut.
We just came from that area.
There you
yeah,
go. There you go. So starting from that background, I didn't really have aspirations to necessarily stay in the field. I went in the Air Force. I didn't know what I was going to do when I was literally 17 as soon as I graduated. And when I got out, I did a few odd jobs here and there. And then my oldest sister, Sue, was working at Connecticut General, now known as Cigna. And that's where Kathy worked. And so she introduced us.
All right.
That's where I first met Kathy. And you can tell us a little bit about what you did at Cigna.
I was a plan administrator for pension plans, and I worked there for 13 years before we had our first child. But I also always worked part-time in retail and in a clothing store.
Wow.
And I did that from the time I was 16 till the time I got married, till 25. So I think that helped me, not only be organized, being a plan administrator, but with my decorating and designing concept of, even though it was just clothing, you still had to put the outfits together.
Right.
And you did some sewing.
And I did some sewing. I took home ec in 7th grade, so I knew how to sew, and I used to make my own clothes and dresses. So a little bit, of that.
Right.
sort of stuff together made us a strong team moving forward. So I met Dave. I worked at Cigna. Sister introduced us. We met. A year later, we got married, and that year we opened the business.
Yeah, so 1984, which is 35 years ago.
Wow.
We just celebrated our 35th anniversary in July. Was the same year that we started our first company in Connecticut, which was Dow Quality Upholstering originally, and then Dow Quality Interiors when we brought on window treatments. So we've been doing this professionally and in our own company for many, many years now. And we just, got tired of the cold. And 13 years ago, in 2006, Kathy said, well, if you can find something, decent to do in Florida, then we'll go. And 3 months later, here we were. So we came just after the big round of hurricanes, so we never really experienced much there. So we worked for a different company, both of us, still in decorating for the first 12 years we were down here.
Right.
Decided we weren't happy, so we started doing some research and this and that, and at the very beginning of 2018, we started working on Dow Decorating and doing everything to prepare for the opening of Dow Decorating.
How'd you pick Port St. Lucie?
Port St. Lucie, we did some research before we came down, and we wanted to find a place that was affordable, first of all, and that was growing, and that was central, and in a good environment, not only because we were still in this business, but just something that was fresh and up and coming. And there was an awful lot of new homes here compared to a lot of the older homes, and really it was a really good bang for the buck in Port St. Lucie.
Wow. So current status of Dow Decorating, where are you located? What do you do? What are the services there that you're providing?
Well, Kathy, you can tell us a little bit about the
We
services.
have over 10,000 fabrics to choose from, and we offer draperies, reupholstering, custom new furniture. We carry the full line of Hunter Douglas blind shades and shutters. We have a beautiful line of drapery hardware, custom bedding, bed skirts, custom headboards, anything basically to do with, fabrics and interior. We do it.
And you're located right there in the heart of St. Lucie West, are you not?
Yeah, we
We
chose
are.
a very visible location. It's 1489 St. Lucie West Boulevard, which is right next to the First Watch restaurant, and there's a Publix right there in the same plaza area. And we chose this area not only for convenience for us, because we live in St. Lucie West, so it's very convenient. But there was really a void in this area. Just about all of the homes nearby in St. Lucie West, PGA Village and Verano and Traditions and all the new places that are up and coming, Valencia Cay and Riverland, would have had to drive easily 30 and 40 minutes to get to any other similar decorating companies, either in Stewart or Vero Beach. And they're all, every customer that comes in, we're so happy you're here, we're so happy you're here. So we chose, I think, a good location.
Oh, no, it's a great location.
Because I don't think we didn't have any in Port St. Lucie. Is that correct? As far as decorating?
Well, there are a couple of companies in Port St. Lucie, but I think a lot of them are home-based. I'm not sure that there's any, storefronts per se.
You mentioned reupholstery or upholstery. I'm afraid your phone may ring off the hook tomorrow. I mean, that is a lost art. I mean, how do people really do reupholstery still? Is that a big part of decorating
It
and
is.
the furniture market?
It's one of our busiest categories, if you will, of what we do. And a lot of people, all my life have said, "Oh, it's a dying trade and it's a lost art." Well, it's still going. So I mean, there have never been an awful lot of upholsterers because, of course, some people, or matter of fact, the majority of people are probably going to buy new. But if you've purchased high dollar, good quality furniture, it really is worth it. I mean, you can sometimes pay half to reupholster something compared to apples to apples,
Right.
Similar quality new. But of course, not every piece is going to be worth doing. If you paid $200 for a chair, likely you shouldn't be reupholstering it.
Talk to me a little bit about commercial services. Is there a commercial segment of the market for decorating?
Absolutely. I mean, we've done dentist office and medical and different professional offices. We've had contracts, like long-standing contracts with hospitals and things like that to do office furniture. But there's an awful lot, and especially with the Hunter Douglas blinds,
With their
shades, and
blinds,
shutters.
yeah.
I mean, just about any business still needs to filter the light and be able to control the light, and so a lot of those services are right there. And we've got over 20 years of experience with the Hunter Douglas products as well.
You need to talk to Carol on your way out.
There you go.
That's exactly what she
I have
wants.
cards. I have cards.
You
with me.
have cards. Okay.
And you know, one of the things I was going to ask in the decorating business, there are recognized brands out there. Hunter Douglas, I guess, is one of those recognized brands. Are there some other brands that you guys carry?
Sure. We have a full line of cravat fabrics, and I have access to their showroom in West Palm Beach, which then they also have Brunswick and Fee and their higher end commercial and residential fabrics. Then they have wallpaper, so I can take a client down there. We have Fabric Cut, and Fabric Cut has there are some lines that they carry, and we carry Kate Spade fabrics and Jacqueline Smith fabrics. And so they're, you know,
So a lot of folks. There are some branded now products in the fabric and the
Candace
decorating
Olson
business.
has a full line in our store, and she used to do HGTV segments years
Right.
ago. So she now is doing her own line.
Wow.
So so we have some, you know, we have fabrics ranging from $20 a yard to $200, $300 a yard. I mean, it just depends
Anywhere
on,
in between. We
you
can
know.
fit any budget, really.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we're also just about to probably, I don't know if it'll just be a few weeks or a couple of months, but we're on the verge of starting to offer custom furniture as well. So not just reupholstering, but people will be able to come in and sit on and view a few pieces here and there, but we can make custom new furniture for you. You can pick different, just any of our thousands of fabric choices, a lot of different cushioning choices and all that. And in a very short period of time, weeks, not months, we can deliver the furniture and high quality furniture at a very reasonable cost.
Wow.
That would be perfect for your gator cave, huh?
That's right. Orange and blue. We got all.
We can do orange and blue.
Okay,
And we
that's good.
also could do custom embroidery if you have sports teams in mind and such
Whoa!
on pillows or furniture or even
look
headboards
out.
if you want upholstered headboards with a sports
Cornices.
logo.
Yeah, that's what my wife would
go.
love that. We'll do the
I'm
whole.
sure.
I'll read you the whole
Do the
house
whole-
in gator, orange and blue.
There you go.
What?
You'll
Talk
be
to-
living in the man cave.
No, I wouldn't be living there. Talk to us about the marketplace. Obviously, being in the kind of business you're in. I mean, you really are affected by, by the growth of the marketplace, by new home starts, by people buying homes, moving in. I mean, talk to us a little bit about what you're seeing from a business owner's perspective. What's going on out there in the marketplace?
Well, it's for us anyway. It seems to be going very quickly and growing well for us. We've only been in business for just over a year here in Port St. Lucie, and the word is getting out very quickly. All this new digital marketing is very new to us compared to 13 years ago in Connecticut. Back then it was all yellow pages, and now everything's different. So
The what?
yes, exactly.
I think I saw one in a museum.
Let your fingers do the walking. There you go. We're getting, I think we have about 30 different Google reviews now with all 5 stars, and not just giving the stars, but saying beautiful things. If people go to our website, they can see that. But it's really working out very, very well for us, and a lot of, because of our very visible location where we are, a lot of walk-ins, people going to the restaurants nearby, just stopping in as well.
Well, and again, it doesn't take one long. All you have to do is drive down St. Lucie West Boulevard, and it's a busy street. And interesting. Before I met you, I was driving down St. Lucie West Boulevard probably when you first opened, and you're very visible. I mean, it caught my eye when I saw your store. So it is a great location.
Great, thank you. Yeah, and Kathy and I actually both worked together on the layout of the logo and the look of it too, which it seems to be catching
It's
people's
very
eyes well.
distinctive.
So,
Yeah, it is.
thank you.
Very distinctive.
Yeah.
So again, you're seeing some of this growth that's taking place, and you're seeing the new contractors and the new houses. I mean, you're kind of feeling like we're hearing. Dr. Parrish told us, the economist, there are over 900 people moving to the state of Florida every single day. And now they're not all moving to the Treasure Coast, but we're certainly probably getting our fair share. So I mean, you are kind of seeing this growth.
Yeah, I'm doing a lot of in homes up in Valencia Cay that they haven't even broken ground, and I'm measuring the models that they've bought just to give them an idea of where their budget's going to be when they come to fruition on their planning.
Part. 6 months out, they're already planning.
Wow.
I have people buying their fabrics already, and they just broke ground so that their fabrics aren't discontinued because they've already have purchased their furniture and their rugs and their lighting, so they want to make sure that everything comes together. So it's really, I mean, we're really excited about the growth.
And now you guys had been in this business for many, many years up north. Came down, but you have started a new business. Talk a little bit about, from an entrepreneurial viewpoint, talk about the challenges of starting a business down in our marketplace.
Well, I think the main difference for us, I'm not sure if it's so much a matter of the location being a challenge as much as starting over again. When we first moved to Florida, we weren't necessarily considering starting another business and starting from scratch. When we started our first company, we literally were working not only out of our home, but out of an apartment building, out of a little chicken wire storage bin. And, I did my first movie theater bench and put that money into a used sewing machine, and everything, because we were both still working full-time, went into the business while we were still working. So everything was built over a period of several years, and so financially it didn't hurt us, and growing the business was very gradual. Here, we had to do it all at once because we have to make a living, and so we went from getting a paycheck to having nothing. Getting
stand in line.
Yeah, right. So getting some capital up was one of the biggest challenges, and then going through getting all of the different certification and licenses and things of that nature, finding the space, having it renovated. There was a lot to do in a very short amount of time. Because we only had so much time. I think within about 6 months, we went from saying we're going to do this to opening the doors.
Yeah. Well, and that's a good point. And I want those are the kind of things I like when our young entrepreneurs, they hear things like that, because oftentimes people talk about starting a business and they're very passionate about it, but they just don't understand really the challenges of starting a business like this. And
right.
Like you said, and you had really tremendous experience in this field.
Yes.
So for you to start it in 6 months would probably take everybody else a year. So it is. It's not easy to get out there and launch this business, but obviously you guys have done a great job with it. Talk about now that you're up and running. What are some of the challenges that you face today as a small business operator? What are some of those challenges?
Just trying to keep the customers coming in and things flowing on a regular basis, because you tend to go up and down and up and down, and all businesses go through that trend. So it's you got to get it, like we're not in season yet and we're waiting for the season people to come back, and we were really fortunate this summer because usually we're slow, that there was building going on, so we got a little bit of that.
We had a very busy summer.
We had a very busy summer, which we didn't expect. But like the hurricanes are flowing out there, so I don't know that people are
people indoors.
People are indoors and not really thinking, and although they should be, because the holiday season's coming up, and we're it typically 6 to 8 weeks before the time you place your order to the time your product's delivered. So to do slip seats, they'll come in the week of Thanksgiving, can I get my dining room chairs upholstered? You know, so yeah.
We're pretty quick, but we're not like 2 days.
Right.
Although that has happened too.
Do you get questions like that though?
We do.
Do people just kind of assume that you can do that?
Everybody thinks everything is very quick, and there are some things that literally take a couple of days, but there are a lot of other things that can take 6 and 8 weeks.
Yeah.
So these other people that are planning ahead months, they're smart because the things are going to be ready when they want them. Speaking of which, with the holidays upcoming, I know they're a long way off. If people want things done for Thanksgiving and Christmas, they need to start coming to us now in order to get things done, for Thanksgiving, and probably they need to come to us sometime in October if they expect to have something for Christmas.
You know what? Again, what concerns me about a business, especially like yours, that's obviously, very in tune with the marketplace, new home building. You could really experience some tremendous growth. I mean, how do you handle that kind of growth? I mean, how do you respond to the kind of growing market that we have? Because you could have 100 people walk in tomorrow and say we've got new homes. I mean, the way things are growing here. I mean, how do you scale up a business and respond to that kind of growth in your industry?
Well, we had, when we were in Connecticut, we had we were never a large company, but we had, as many as 8 employees, for instance, at one time. And we are already prepared, for instance, when we have partners like Hunter Douglas working with us, obviously they're not only a national, but a worldwide presence. They can handle anything we can throw at them as far as that kind of thing. And that's one of our major things that we do. And so, we have the ability to, and the room to bring on 3, 4, 5 salespeople to help Kathy and I on the sales floor when we need it, and we prepared ahead of time for that possibility, and we hope and expect that sometime within the next few months we'll start thinking about employees.
Nice. Talk about you mentioned this whole new internet, the newfangled internet thing, and the social media marketing. Talk about your marketing strategies. How did you first? Where'd you learn about this new internet marketing? And then what are you doing? How are you operating out there in that internet world?
Sure. Well, I've always been very much a geek, and I've built computers and all that. So I'm very techie, which comes in handy, like with the Hunter Douglas products and things like that. We can run them with Alexa and all the motorization, and we're up on all of that, which some of the people aren't. That are selling
back
those.
up. Wait a minute.
Yes.
Yeah. So Alexa is now doing some
Absolutely, yes. You can come to our showroom and we can tell the shades to open and close
wow.
Cool. and or they can be scheduled so they can automatically open at sunrise and close at sunset or whatever you want. You can make it look like you're home if you're on vacation and have them randomly go up and down.
Wow.
It's very very techy, and we're on
all
top
through
of
an Alexa.
Yeah, and we're on top of that. But as far as the marketing goes, I did a lot of studying, but there's only so much that regardless of what I can do myself, I don't have the time, and I don't have as much knowledge in that. So we've hired a couple of professionals, and they're doing quite well for us now. We're very happy with what we've got going. But we did get some help and some suggestions through the SBDC with the marketing, and actually right now, Catherine Culhane and Michael Bernard are reviewing some of our financials to give us some more suggestions on how we can restructure some of the finances and things of that nature, and give us some help on that. And so the SBDC has been extremely helpful.
Well, we appreciate that.
And 90% of your budget in radio, I presume.
There you go. Well, we have done actually not so much in radio, although we probably could and should, but we've done not only the social media and Google ads and things of that nature, but certainly local newspapers, and we started doing some local magazines and things like that, both here in the Treasure Coast as well as up in Vero Beach.
And we're going to be involved in the CAP program.
Capstone, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So,
the college.
Cool.
So we're looking forward to that to expand our marketing to see what these young.
Yes, I think you'll be
Young.
pleasantly surprised. I
Yes.
really have
So
always
we're-
been impressed. And
We're really excited because we always said if we needed to hire someone, it would be a young millennium. So we're excited about that.
I think you're gonna enjoy every minute of that.
Yeah.
One of the the rule of thumbs that we talk about in business today is that you've really got to spend a business owner operator has to spend somewhere between 10 and 15 hours a week
managing their social media. I mean, do you kind of see that? I mean, are you having to spend some time managing that social media marketing campaign?
Yeah, certainly to a certain extent. And I do, even though I have a company that's physically doing professional Facebook ads, and actually Hunter Douglas does some of that for us as well as part of their program. We chime in here and there for different things and special things, and a lot of the ads and, for instance, our business cards and our signage and things like that, I've designed on the computer, so that helps us not only to save a few dollars, but we get the look that we're looking for.
Nice. Talk about your involvement in the BAT program. How'd you find out about it, and what were your thoughts about the program?
I honestly don't remember exactly where I first heard about it, but once I heard about it, I mean, and I heard about the price of $25. I mean, two
yes, I know.
$2 a week. I mean, I can handle that.
Right.
I mean, it was a no-brainer to get involved with it, but it was really a wonderful program. I was so happy that we got in with that. Certainly had some invaluable knowledge that we learned for not only helping to set up the business, but a lot of the new marketing, and we got a lot of good tips on the marketing and the finance. Customer service, of course, we already knew quite a bit of that, but one of the things that really helped us out at the end of the program was doing the pitch, and we were fortunate enough to be awarded one of the grants, and thank you so much, Tom, for being involved with that and helping us.
You're welcome. I had nothing to do with that.
I know it didn't come out of your pocket, but
listen,
you're behind the program.
Yes,
so.
but again, it really is a great program. But what always impresses me, of course, I'm impressed when people take the time, because you guys are textbook business owners. You are working all day, into the night, and when it's time to go home, I'm sure I was there too. All I wanted to do was go home. So every time I go to a training program and there's a room full of people, I'm so impressed that that there are people out there a lot smarter than I was to take the time and participate in these training programs. But you had all this experience. I mean, talk about the importance of why a small business owner should do these kind of things.
Well, there's just an awful lot. I mean, the minute that you think you know everything that there is to know, then you're not really going to continue to succeed. I mean, there's always new things and new trends to stay on top of. Things change, like I was talking about with the technology and staying up with the power view. Even though I'm getting up there in age, I need to stay on top of it. And probably, I honestly feel that we're more on top of it than a lot of the other blind and shade companies, and we really know what we're doing, and we know what we're talking about, and so we can help the customer make the right choice for the right room in the right area. Kathy, and you want to talk about colors and things of that nature?
Yeah, so when you pick a Hunter Douglas product, a lot of times people are wanting to match the color, the drapery, so there's a lot involved. You don't just say, you can't pick a white if someone has a beautiful room, you can't do it all in white. I mean, you can, but you can.
You can especially if you're in Miami.
You can,
they do
but
a lot
you want to add accent colors or pillows and stuff, and so there's a lot of a lot that goes in it. So a lot of times people know when they come in, they know what they want, and they're very decisive. I like this and I don't like this. Other times I have to literally choose for the customer.
Got to stay up on the.
So we have to stay up
so
on
not
the
even
trends and the
business
color.
Training, but it's
no,
training
the
from your suppliers.
Yeah, it's the paint colors. It's the colors that are in right now. It's the so all those trends all get.
Well, and again, I think I think customers appreciate that too when they walk into a business that's up on the latest technology.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's pretty impressive that a blind company is producing that kind of technology, and that they could walk in and you're up on that technology.
Mm-hmm.
But
Absolutely.
it doesn't just happen by accident.
No, as a matter of fact, I have a lot of our motorization in the store scheduled. Like every 5 minutes, something moves to draw attention to it, and the customer's like, "What's going on here?" Well, showing them that we offer the motorization,
right.
So we use that technology to also attract their attention.
Right. I
noticed that they brought some disaster tape when they looked at insides of this place.
Yeah. Well, it really is impressive because you two with the kind of experience and knowledge, and you owned and operated a business, and for you two to say, we're going to go over to this business accelerator program. I mean, it says something about you as business owners that there really is, an appreciation of we've got to stay up and we've got to continue to train ourselves. And, there not a lot of experienced, seasoned business people think like that. They just don't.
And we like to keep it fresh and exciting.
That's right.
Keeps us interested too.
Well, and again, things have changed, and you are in a big growth market here. So,
Okay.
How does someone get in touch with Dow Decorating? How do they find the store and get in touch with you and find you on the internet?
There you go. Well, we try to keep it simple, so it's very simply the website is www.dowdecorating.com. So it's just DOW, dowdecorating.com. Phone number 772-678-1040. Our email is also simple enough, info@dowdecorating.com. And our location is at 1489 St. Lucie West Boulevard in Port St. Lucie.
Well, listen, I really do appreciate you guys taking time out tonight. I'm sure there's something you could be doing, at the store. So I do appreciate you taking time out to come talk to us, and wish you the best of luck with the business. I know you're going to be great successes down in St. Lucie West. I look forward to continuing to work with you guys.
Thank you so much for having us, Tom.
Yep, absolutely. And with that, we will bring to close another segment of Small Business Florida. Remember, you can always get information about all the business resource and assistance programs through the Florida SBDC by visiting that irscbiz.com site. That's irscbiz.com. And with that, always, I want to thank our partners here, Greg and Carol Wyatt at WPSL, WSTU, and WPSL TV. And with that, we will talk to you next Thursday night on Small Business Florida.
You've been listening to Small Business Florida right here on WPSL, Port St. Lucie, WPSL.com, webcaster to the world on Alexa and Google Home. And yeah, your blinds will move too if you listen to this radio station. We'll see you next week. Don't forget, IRSC basketball all begins November the 2nd versus Ave Maria.